trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. We had a lead up for 3 days with clips on the internet, and a lot of people confused as to why it's a square image and not widescreen. I've decided that I am going to do some kind of a companion video explaining why that is. I don't want to take up time in this trailer reaction to explain it because it would just take too long, and I think people would be even more confused by me just trying to like speed through it. But I want to let you know that we will be doing a live watch along with our patrons of this movie next month when it comes out. And before we even get to that, we're going to be doing reactions for Superman and Lois, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, for Invincible, so plenty of stuff coming to the channel. And I kind of, all right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he died.
Dude,
Some movies leading up to it.
the scream heard around the world.
Almost like a premonition. There's an attack coming.
My lord, this world will fall.
I need warriors. I'm building an alliance to defend ourselves.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull, then don't wave the red caper.
You were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes you the rest of your life, find out what that reason is.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a fun
There's
little Man
Black
of Steel
Suit.
throwback.
Okay. Yeah.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
It will. Fasting.
That's very meta. That's very
Interesting.
clever.
Huh.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
We live
And here they are.
Yep.
where honor is a distant memory. Isn't that right? Batman.
That moment was completely ruined by Twitter for me.
It was. Yeah, there was a lot of photos that came out.
Yeah.
Oh,
there
yeah.
there was several. Yeah, I think that's the thing when you're doing like a 3-day lead up from the trailer to the trailer. You know, like all the there's a lot of clips in there, and it's like that Superman moment where he's using the laser vision or heat
But,
vision was
listen,
ruined.
Not
Yeah.
even that, but like even pulling up this video, and I haven't seen the trailer yet today until we just watched it.
Yeah.
But like the trailer right next to it, the thumbnail, I should say, for another video right next to
Yeah.
it is New Rockstars Justice League Snyder Cut trailer reaction.
I have
and the
that one,
thumbnail
too.
is the Jared Leto Joker. And
Yeah.
God bless
Jared
New
Leto
Rockstars.
Joker.
There's good people over there. But I'm like, yes, I've seen that image, unfortunately, today.
1,000 times. Yeah. Yeah.
But
One thing
that's
I will
how
say
the internet
about
works.
this trailer is that it makes me feel like I'm watching a totally different movie.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a
100%.
well-cut
Like,
trailer.
there's
Really
100%.
well-cut trailer.
100%
Really well-cut trailer.
completely different movie, and I'm actually a little bit intrigued. This is something that I don't know if I was necessarily looking for or even had an opinion on beforehand. Like the first movie was the first movie, but this movie
Right.
looks completely different, and I'm actually like, okay, I kind of see what you're doing a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it was at the time in 2017 when we saw Justice League, because I knew that it was Zack Snyder leaving and Joss Whedon coming in, I went into that movie thinking, okay, there's compromise here.
Right.
One director's movie is now being taken over. They're always like, we knew it from Superman 2 with Richard Donner to Richard Lester. So I kind of went into that movie with the same sort of like feeling, because at that point in November, when the movie was coming out in 2017, we had no clue how much footage that Zack Snyder used or how much of the story Zack
Right.
Snyder created was going to be in that movie. So when the movie ended, I was like, all right, some stuff worked for me. A lot of stuff didn't. the compromise was
Yeah.
fine. But then once we started finding out exactly how much of his stuff was not used, and I think somebody ratioed it out, and it's about 30-ish minutes of Snyder stuff in the theatrical cut versus an hour and a half of Joss Whedon stuff. And this is obviously like there's nothing Joss Whedon in this movie at all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah. So
and it's also going to be interesting to know because, like you're saying, Adam, the whole project feels like something that I can't really compare to anything else
right.
in recent or film history.
Yeah.
Because it's this
Other than
interesting
Superman
like
2.
Yeah.
yeah, the Richard Donner cut that came out, but that was so after the fact, and this is only 3 years
Right.
after the
This
fact.
is only
This is
2
like
years. Donner
this is
cut
like
was 20 years almost, I believe.
this is so fresh that they went and shot new stuff for
Yes.
it. So what's
including
gonna
that ending with the Joker and Batman.
Right. What's going to be interesting to see is like how much of this was the Justice League movie that they shot 3 years ago. What scenes did they add for this new HBO Max version? How well do those fit? Is this going to be something where they added extra stuff as almost like a finale? You know, everybody, the internet was cracked in half with Darkseid and Granny Goodness and all this stuff.
Right.
And everybody knows the narrative behind these films is like, well, it was going to be a 5-film storyline.
Right.
And this was only
Coalescing
part
in
3.
two Justice League films, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Or like another thing, because it was supposed to be Man of Steel, BVS, this, then
Wonder
two other
Woman,
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Justice
I don't
League
even,
2.
dude, I don't even know if Wonder Woman was a part of that.
It
I'm
was.
saying this was,
It's the-
okay, so
yeah.
it was supposed to be Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman, and then 2 Justice Leagues. So did they add stuff to tie that up in a neat little bow?
It's possible. I don't
Because
know.
they never
I don't know.
shot Justice
No
League
idea.
Part 2 or
Right. I don't know
or-
exactly how much stuff was like. I don't know how much additional photography there was.
Yeah.
I think as far as I read, the only people who came back were Ray Fisher, Ben Affleck, Jared Leto, possibly Joe Manganiello, possibly. But I don't think Gal Gadot or Henry Cavill or Jason Momoa were a part of the reshoots. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
I haven't done like a
Yeah.
full in-depth read on everything that they reshot. But obviously the biggest changes aside from like the look of the movie is the designs for Steppenwolf, which looks almost exactly to the way he looked in Batman versus Superman, where when we saw him as like that
That
holographic
gray
figure.
thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then obviously the addition of Darkseid and Desaad, and it looks like Granny Goodness and plenty of other characters from Apocalypse. So I am interested to see just like how different this story is going to be, because there's definitely obviously beats in there that are in the theatrical cut, but
Yeah, sure.
you see those
I wonder
beats and you're
if-
like, man, this could splinter off and go in so many other directions.
Yeah. 100%.
I was also wondering about the Apocalypse characters and like, is that going to be what Ava DuVernay's film is going to look like, or does
don't
that
know.
mean does that signify like are those designs going to be just for this movie?
Right.
That if we'll see a future DCEU project like a Wonder Woman sequel or something that deals with those characters, will they look different, and then will that be what they'll look like in the Ava DuVernay film, or is Ava and company, are they going to use these designs to tell a New Gods story?
It
Right.
sounds
No
like
idea.
from what I've like kind of put together from like the things I've read here and there, and based on some things that Snyder has said, it sounds like this is just kind of its own thing. While
Right.
it does connect to the previous films, we
It's
know that
not-
Aquaman.
it's
We know that
not-
Aquaman ties into like the theatrical version of Justice League. But I think
Right.
Zack Snyder did say that in this movie, you, I believe, find out kind of what happens to Aquaman that leads him to his like where he is in the first movie, his own first
In
movie.
his interesting.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think there's going to be like some things that actually do tie
Like,
together, and other
at the end
things
of
that
this,
they kind
at
of
the end
just
of this,
walk away from.
he's going to be like, I got to go find a submarine. Like it's that kind of a setup.
Maybe I think that's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
the interesting thing, to see where everything kind of like ends,
Yeah.
and to see like, oh, you could definitely see that James Wan's Aquaman movie was picking up from like this story and not the theatrical story. But it's tough, because I can't even imagine being a director in that pool of directors who have this movie to kind of work off of and be like, great, we're building up this universe off of Justice League, and then
I don't know.
6 months before the movie's supposed to be done, or 8 months, a director gets replaced, and it's like,
Sure,
so are we still
sure.
following this blueprint, or are we not?
Sure.
following this
Right,
blueprint?
Well,
yeah.
it seems like that none of those other movies, not to knock the theatrical cut of Justice League, but I'll knock it because it obviously was not great or well received. But like
Yeah.
when, just to compare it to the Marvel for a second, because I know people were going to love that. Look, to compare it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a second, if a Marvel movie would take place after something where like Thanos was mentioned, like let's say Guardians of the Galaxy. They used Thanos. They used
Right.
maybe it was an updated design, but it was still supposed to be that character.
Right.
When Aquaman mentions that he and his crew fought Steppenwolf, like they don't cut to Steppenwolf. They don't show a visual of Steppenwolf.
Right.
What I'm saying is the Justice League movie didn't really seem like it set up a lot of future, like, oh, we're definitely going to keep coming back to this versus the Battle of New York in the first Avengers movie. I'm rewatching some of the early MCU stuff. There's lots of mentions of the Battle of New York, like they even use little clips, things here and there for
Right.
the Thor sequel, the Captain America sequel, like, you know, Iron Man talks about it. So little clips here and there for Iron Man. So didn't feel like that's what Justice League was doing. I don't know if you know, Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to do that. I don't know if this franchise is in a place where it's even looking back that recently, 3 years back. I don't know of any future DC movies. And then the news came out a couple days ago, which I think was was pretty mind blowing. Is that as a Zack Snyder fan asked director David F. Sandberg, who directed the Shazam film,
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm super excited about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Want to know how, you know, you're working with Black Adam or something to that effect. Like, did you work with Zack Snyder with any of your stuff to, like, because your movie references his movies. Did you guys work together? And Sandberg was like, I've never met him. He seems very nice, but I was only working off of I've seen his movies and I was pretending as though they had happened. And somebody asked him about Black Adam and he goes, I have no idea what's going on with Black Adam. But I just know that, like, you know, we're getting ready to do my movie or whatever. And the person who did that, I think, followed up with like, oh, that's cool. I hope you get to meet Zack Snyder someday. And I was kind of like, he just said he has nothing to do with Black Adam, the movie that is the spinoff of his movie. Like, how is there no connectivity there? How is there no, you know, James Gunn was overseeing the characters in Guardians of the Galaxy when they were in Avengers
Every other movie that
movies.
they've been in.
Every other movie that they've been in. How is there not some
Him and Taika have been working together with
for
Thor: Love and
4.
Thunder and Volume 3 of Guardians.
because the Guardians are in that. So that kind of blew my mind. Whereas, like, you know, Zack Snyder fans, I think, are really hoping that Snyder will come back and be like the main sort of like Jon Favreau or Kevin Feige of this franchise. But it seems like that might not be the case.
I mean, even he said it's not likely that I'm
it's
making
like
another movie in this
this is a
franchise.
one and done. So it's just really interesting to watch this trailer and to vaguely remember what happened in Justice League. I'm gonna have to rewatch the movie,
Right,
the
yeah,
theatrical cut, and that would make people mad. It'd be like, no, don't rewatch it. And I'm like, well, I'm so dying to compare. You know, this is the ultimate comparison
It's
project.
the only thing you can compare it to at this point.
Look,
So-
when the final trailer came out for Justice League, and you know, had that song, it was all about like we can be heroes and all this stuff. I was like, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm actually like really feeling this.
Yeah.
But then you watch this, and this has a little bit more of a closer tone to the trailers for BVS and that
Yeah.
first trailer for Justice League, even though that first trailer has come together, which I still think was pretty cool. But I'm personally kind of at this point now where I'm going into this movie being in the mindset of this is a director who came back and he's just finishing his movie, and
Great.
this is the thing. It doesn't matter where it connects, who it connects to, because that's not what it's about. It's just about the movie. So I almost feel like I almost feel like this pressure or this like relief off my shoulders where I'm like, I don't have to worry about. I'm going to watch the movies just to make sure like I have all the context again, but I'm not going into this being like, okay, well, let's see how it sets up the future, because I was like, that's not what the movie's doing. The movie is just,
But that's also
what's this
kind of
4-hour movie going to do?
That's also kind of exciting because this could be balls to the wall crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact
exactly.
that they reshot Nightmare stuff, that was a segment in BVS that I was not a huge fan of, the entire Nightmare sequence. But the fact that they're doing stuff for this movie, it might be like,
They can
well,
kind
this
of
is,
do anything they
could,
want.
yeah, do whatever. So I'm like, you know what? Go for it. This is a director who was hired to do this movie and should have been allowed to complete it, success or fail. He should have been allowed to come out with this movie, and it should not have been a vision that was compromised. And then after the movie, his original movie had come out, then decisions could have been made to determine, we're going to go in a
Right.
different direction blah, 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 for the next
Yeah.
one. It was just such a bummer the way that everything went down.
Right.
Do you guys remember the days when movies only used to be made that way? Like this whole MCU like any interconnected
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
was not a thing until
Yeah.
it actually came out. Every
I know.
movie used to be like, hey, you know what? That Terminator 1 movie did good. Let's do a part 2. Like you guys
8
think it'll
years
do
later,
okay?
yeah.
Exactly. I think you're right, Adam. I think you hit the nail on the head on this one. This movie is allowed to be itself, which is good. They're letting Zach is just doing his thing, and he's going to do it up. And I'm actually looking forward to see what he's actually going to present at this point, because, you know, we don't have to worry about, well, the Wonder Woman timeline says that and the Aquaman timeline says all this. Everything you guys just said, like, it's free of all this. Let's see some DC goodness. Like, we've been waiting for some DC stuff. Let's see if this delivers on all that stuff that, you know, we hope to see from it, and hopefully somebody else is inspired to, you know, do something better with the interconnected DC extended universe.
Yeah,
because it needs it. I feel like the DC universe can and will go head to head at some point with Marvel. And it's just, I'm looking forward to that day, and you know, hopefully this movie puts us in a good direction to go in that route.
And
but
honestly,
you know, we'll see.
for people who are fans of all of these movies, like if you're a complete like Justice League saga or Zack Snyder saga is Man of Steel, BVS, I guess to some extent Suicide Squad, only because the Joker's in it, Wonder Woman, and this movie, then like fine, you got 5 or 6 movies. I mean, this is like 2 movies in one, really.
It
4
really
hours
is.
long.
I don't know when I'm going to have a chance to poop during this movie, so we'll see.
I was a little bummed out. I was like, man, you guys probably have so much music. Why didn't you just build an intermission into HBO Max so I could go to the bathroom?
Exactly.
Because he did say that like, if it ever got a theatrical release, that they would build an intermission in, which I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, hopefully.
That would be cool. That would be nice. Some Hans Zimmer music comes, some Junkie XL hits you.
Exactly.
I should go to the bathroom real quick.
I gotta. Yeah.
Ooh. So yeah, I mean, like at this point, I'm just kind of like honest to God, I walked out of the movie and I came home and Zach had seen it. My roommate Zach, who I work with. For anybody who like thought, no, I don't live with Zack Snyder. We both got home and we both looked at each other and we were like, yeah, I'd rather see the Zack Snyder version of that movie, you know, because it was just like, you could feel like it was just messed with so much. And this will be kind of just like a fresh slate in a sense.
Yeah.
And I'm just really curious to see where everything goes, because it's going to be different.
Right.
It's going to be
different. Absolutely different. Yeah.
There's going to be similar beats, but I think overall as a story, it's going to be so different.
It's going to be 100% different, and that's what's intriguing me about this, because that's all I want to see. Like, I don't want to see any movie ever fail ever. I want to see a good movie. I don't want to waste 4 hours of my time just because it's a comic book movie and we do what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's let's hope and wish for the best for this movie, and then, you know, when we do our, you know, watch along or review or whatever, hopefully we got glowing stuff to say.
It's going to be fascinating to see what happens. This is an incredibly fascinating project all around.
$70 million to complete this bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
and they will get the subscribers. Like, let's be.
I hope so.
They'll get the subs.
I hope so. Everybody on the internet knows how vocal the Zack Snyder fan base is, but the question, I think, is still: is that vocality? Does that prove numbers? We're going to find out. Absolutely,
right.
And I just hope that all parties involved are super stoked and happy about it. I hope that at some point, like, real leadership overhaul happens at Warner Brothers.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope that the AT&T Warner Brothers merger results in less jobs being lost, and I also hope, as a DC fan, that these characters can be treated really well at some point, and that they can have their day in the sun, as Nacho Libre would say, because they deserve it. They have earned it. And if it's not through this, that's fine. But at least this is a really interesting, like, okay, here's this guy's super 100% take on these characters. A thing I didn't like about the previous movies is Batman kills people. I hope Batman murders the most people in this movie. You know, I'm just like, at this point, dude, you know, a little Rick and Morty. Show me what you got. Like, I'm all for it. It's fine. You know, let's go for it. I want to see an uncompromised vision.
Exactly. I want to see $70 million worth of. Oh fuck, that was dope. That was dope.
No more lines from like military personnel that are like, that island's uninhabited. That's so good.
Exactly.
You know,
just wreck everything.
Just kill everybody. Kill everybody on Earth, and I'd be okay with it.
Just be the most. You know, just be the most. And I'm looking forward to seeing how everybody kind of responds to it, and also, again, looking forward to see what kind of effect this has overall, and what the studio is going to do with these characters and this brand. I mean, like, are we going to keep doing movies set in this world? Will they be connected, or are they going to start to shift and put all their eggs into Matt Reeves' basket.
Hector,
I don't know.
too much. Hector,
It's
we
too
don't
much.
know. Hector, too much. We don't know. We don't know yet.
I would say,
let's watch this bad boy.
I would say to everybody out there, like, do some research. There's been some interviews that have come out with heads of Warner Brothers who have been talking about how they're really trying to shift the DC characters into a more cohesive multiverse.
Interesting one with James Gunn. I know you were pointing people to that with the use of HBO Max, the way that Disney Plus is using it as TV series for their big brands, Star Wars and Marvel. HBO Max is going to give us that Gotham Central Police Department show.
Ties into Matt Reeves' Batman movie.
Peacemaker. It's like, okay, this is very, very interesting. Does this mean that someday a show like Superman and Lois of the Arrowverse, that maybe that will become phased out, and instead of the Arrowverse, we're going to get shows set in a filmic DC universe? I don't know.
No idea.
I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what they do with stuff. I'm along for the ride.
That's it, baby. That's it, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Now we're just waiting for the premiere. Let's do
Come
it.
together, baby. Let's go.
Guys, let us know in the comments below what your thoughts were about this trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Will you be watching it? Are you going to be joining us next month when we check out this movie? Let us know in your comments, things you would like to see, things you hope to see, maybe some cameos from some characters. Let's just blow this whole thing out of the water. Let's just put everyone in there. Who cares at this point?
Let's do it.
Exactly. Green Lantern, Booster Gold, everyone. Let us know your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will catch you in the next reaction.